I grew up in a quiet town in Ohio, the kind where nothing really happens and everyone knows each other. When I moved away for college in 2022, I thought I was finally leaving that slow, predictable life behind. The campus I attended wasn't huge, but it had this old section, one of the original dorm buildings that most students avoided. Not because it was officially closed or anything, just rumors. Stuff about weird noises, broken heaters, lights flickering. You know how college stories go. Of course, that's exactly where I ended up. It was the only affordable dorm left when I applied late. My room was on the 3rd floor at the very end of the hallway. And right above me, the 4th floor. Except there wasn't supposed to be a 4th floor. At least that's what my RA told me on move-in day. I remember laughing, thinking she was joking. But she just smiled in this weird, tight way and said, "Technically, it's sealed off. Maintenance uses it sometimes, but no students are allowed up there." I didn't think much of it at the time. The first few nights were normal. Quiet, actually. Too quiet. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring a little. No music through the walls, no footsteps in the hallway, nothing. Until Thursday night. I was lying in bed scrolling on my phone around 1:30 a.m. when I heard it. A soft thump. Directly above me. I paused, listening. Another thump. Then a slow dragging sound, like something heavy being pulled across the floor. I sat up. At first I figured it was just pipes or the building settling. Old dorms make noise, right? But then it happened again, this time clearer. Footsteps, slow, uneven, like someone walking, but slightly off rhythm. I stared at the ceiling, my chest tightening. "There's no 4th floor," I whispered to myself. The footsteps stopped, just like that. Silence. I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, I asked a guy down the hall if he'd ever heard anything weird. He shrugged and said, "Yeah, sometimes. Probably maintenance." That answer should have reassured me. It didn't. Because that night, it got worse. Around the same time, 1:30 a.m., the noises came back. Only this time, it wasn't just footsteps. It sounded like something dropping, then dragging, then tapping. 3 slow taps, right above my bed. I froze. Tap, tap, tap. Each one perfectly spaced out, like it was intentional. Like someone knew exactly where I was. I grabbed my phone and turned off my screen, holding my breath. I don't know why. I just had this overwhelming feeling that I shouldn't make any noise. That's when I heard it. A voice. Muffled. Faint. But definitely a voice. Right above me. I couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like whispering. Fast, frantic whispering. Like someone talking to themselves. My heart started pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. I slowly slid off my bed, not taking my eyes off the ceiling. The whispering got quieter, then stopped completely. And then, a single, loud bang. So hard it made the light fixture above me shake. I let out a gasp and stumbled back, my phone slipping from my hand and hitting the floor. Silence. Complete silence. I stood there for what felt like forever, just staring up, waiting for something, anything, to happen again. But nothing did. The next day, I went straight to the front office. I told them everything. The footsteps, the tapping, the voice. The woman at the desk listened carefully, nodding the whole time. When I finished, she gave me a polite smile and said, "I'm sure it's just the heating system. That building is very old." I almost believed her. Until that night. Because that was the first time something touched the ceiling, and the ceiling touched back. After what happened that second night, I told myself I was done overthinking it. Old building, weird sounds. My brain filling in the blanks. That's what I kept repeating. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. Because pipes don't whisper. And they definitely don't knock back. That night, I tried to stay awake. I turned on my desk lamp, put on a random video for background noise, anything to make the room feel less empty. I didn't want to be lying in the dark again, staring at that ceiling. But around 1:20 a.m., something weird happened. Everything went quiet. Not just my room, the whole building. The usual distant hum, the faint buzz of electricity. It all just stopped, like someone had muted the world. I remember checking my phone, 1:29 a.m., and right on cue, thump. I flinched so hard my chair scraped loudly against the floor. Another thump followed, then that same dragging sound. But this time, it was slower, heavier. Like whatever was up there was getting closer to one specific spot. My spot. I stood up slowly, my eyes locked on the ceiling. The sound stopped directly above me. I didn't breathe. Then came the tapping again. Tap, tap, tap. Except now, it wasn't spaced out anymore. It was faster, more urgent, like someone trying to send a message. Stop, I whispered under my breath, not even realizing I'd said it. The tapping stopped instantly. That alone made my stomach drop. Because it meant whatever was up there heard me. A few seconds passed. Then, scratch. A long, slow scratching sound dragged across the ceiling, right above my head. I could actually see the faint outline of movement through the thin panel, like something was pressing against it from above. I stumbled back, my legs hitting the bed, and that's when it happened. The ceiling tile above me dipped, just slightly, but enough. Enough to show that something heavy was pushing down on it from the other side. I stared at it, completely frozen, and then I saw it. Fingers. 5 dark shapes pressing through the panel. Not breaking it, just stretching it downward. Like the material was the only thing separating us. I couldn't move. My whole body felt locked in place as those shapes slowly dragged across the ceiling, following me as I stepped back. It knew exactly where I was. No, 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 I whispered, shaking my head. The fingers stopped moving. Then slowly, one of them pressed harder than the others. A small crack formed in the ceiling tile. Dust fell onto my bed. I snapped out of it. I grabbed my hoodie and bolted for the door, not even bothering to turn off the light. I ran down the hallway, my footsteps echoing way too loud in the silence. I didn't stop until I reached the stairwell. I didn't even know where I was going. I just needed to get out. I ended up sitting in my car for the rest of the night, shaking, watching the building from the parking lot. Nothing looked wrong from the outside. No lights flickering, no movement, just a normal quiet dorm. Like nothing had happened. The next morning, I went back with one of the campus maintenance guys. I told him the ceiling tile was damaged. He didn't seem surprised. That was the first red flag. We walked into my room, and I pointed at the ceiling. The tile was completely normal. No crack, no dents, no dust, nothing. "You sure you got the right room?" he asked, half joking. I didn't answer, because I knew what I saw. Before he left, I asked him something that had been bothering me since day one. "Is there really a 4th floor?" He hesitated, just for a second. Then he said, "Not anymore," and walked out. I didn't stay in that room that night. I packed a bag and crashed in a friend's dorm. Across campus, I told myself I'd move out, request a transfer, do anything to get away from that place. But around midnight, I got a notification on my phone. At first I thought it was just a random alert, until I opened it. It was a photo, sent from an unknown number. My stomach dropped the second I saw it. It was my room, taken from above, from the ceiling. And in the photo, I was there, standing under it, looking up. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there in my friend's dorm, staring at my phone, replaying the image over and over again. It was my room, no doubt about it. Same desk, same bed, same hoodie thrown over the chair, and me, standing there, looking up. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the angle. It wasn't taken from a corner. It wasn't from a vent. It was taken from directly above me. Like whoever or whatever took that photo was lying flat on the ceiling, watching. I didn't tell my friend everything. I just said I felt sick and needed to stay over. But I didn't close my eyes once. Around 3 a.m., I finally built up the courage to do something. I texted the number back. "Who is this?" For a minute, nothing happened. Then my phone buzzed. A reply. "I thought you left." My chest tightened so hard it felt like I couldn't breathe. I stared at the message, my fingers hovering over the screen. I didn't want to respond, but I did. "How did you get that picture?" This time, the reply came instantly. "You're not in your room." I felt something drop in my stomach. Slowly, I turned my head toward the door of my friend's dorm. Locked. Chain on. Everything normal. Then my phone buzzed again. "Why did you leave?" I stood up, backing away from the door without even realizing it. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I typed one last message. "Who are you?" The typing bubble appeared, stopped, appeared again. Then the message came through. "I'm above you." I froze. Every muscle in my body locked up. Above me? My eyes slowly lifted toward the ceiling. Nothing. Just plain white tiles. No movement. No sound. I let out a shaky breath, trying to calm myself down. "It's messing with you," I whispered. "It's just someone messing with you." Then came the sound. A soft creak. Right above us. I felt my blood run cold. My friend was still asleep, completely unaware. Another creak followed. Then, tap. I backed up so fast I nearly tripped over the chair. "No way, no way," I muttered, shaking my head. Tap, tap, tap. The exact same pattern. My hands were trembling as I grabbed my friend's shoulder and shook him awake. "Wake up. Right now, please." He groaned, confused. "What's wrong with you?" Tap. He stopped talking. We both looked up at the same time. The ceiling tile above his bed moved. Just slightly, but enough. "Did you see that?" I whispered. He didn't answer, because now he saw it too. Another slow creak, and then a small gap opened between the ceiling tile and the frame, just enough for darkness to show through. We both backed away, step by step, not taking our eyes off it. And then, something pressed down from above. The tile bent, and a single finger pushed through the gap. Long, pale, too thin to look normal. My friend let out a choked noise. I grabbed his arm, and we ran. We didn't even look back. We ran out into the hallway, down the stairs, out of the building, and didn't stop until we were across campus. Neither of us spoke for a long time. We didn't need to, because we both knew what we saw. The next day, I went straight to the administration office. This time, I didn't ask. I demanded to be moved, immediately. Something in my face must have convinced them, because they didn't argue. They just processed the request. No questions, no hesitation. Like they'd done it before. Before I left, I asked one last thing. "What was on the 4th floor?" The woman at the desk paused. Then she said quietly, "It used to be student housing." I waited. She looked at me, then away. Until an incident. I didn't ask anything else. I didn't want to know. I moved out that same day. New dorm. Different building. Different side of campus. No noises. No tapping. No footsteps. Nothing. For a while, I started to believe it was over. Until a week later. I was lying in bed, scrolling on my phone, trying to relax. when I got a notification. Unknown number. My heart instantly started racing. I opened it. It was a photo. My new room. Taken from the ceiling. And this time, I wasn't looking up. I was asleep. Under the photo, there was a single message. I can still hear you. I moved out of campus housing the next morning. I never went back. And to this day, I don't sleep directly under a ceiling tile anymore. This happened in late 2023 when I was working night shifts as a rideshare driver in Chicago. I wasn't doing it full time, just trying to make extra money after my day job. Most nights were normal. Drunk people, airport runs, the occasional weird conversation. Nothing I couldn't handle. But there was one night I wish I could erase completely. It started like any other shift. Around 11:45 p.m., I was about to log off when one last ride popped up on my phone. It was about 15 minutes away, out near an industrial area I didn't usually go to. I almost declined it. Something about the location just felt off. But the fare was high, and it was a slow night. So I accepted. Big mistake. The drive out there was quiet. Too quiet. No traffic, barely any streetlights. Just long stretches of empty road and dark buildings on both sides. When I got close to the pickup point, my GPS started glitching. It kept rerouting, spinning the map, like it couldn't lock onto my location. Great, I muttered. Of course. Eventually, I found the address. A small, abandoned-looking bus stop on the side of the road. No lights, no cars, no people. I slowed down, checking the app again. Pickup confirmed. I almost canceled right there. But then, I saw him, standing under the broken bus shelter, completely still. He hadn't moved when my headlights hit him. Didn't wave, didn't step forward, just stood there. I rolled down my window slightly. Hey, you waiting for a ride? I called out. No response. For a second, I thought maybe he didn't hear me. Then, slowly, he turned his head. Not his body, just his head. And even from that distance, I could tell something wasn't right. His posture was stiff. Too stiff. Like his body didn't move the way it should. I felt this sudden urge to drive away. Just leave. Forget the money. But before I could decide, my phone chimed. Your passenger is approaching. I looked up again. He was already at my car. I didn't even see him walk over. He just was there, standing right next to the back door. My heart started pounding. I forced a smile and unlocked the doors. He got in without a word. The second he closed the door, the temperature inside the car dropped. I'm not exaggerating. It felt like someone had opened a freezer behind me. Where to? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. No answer. I glanced in the rearview mirror. He was sitting directly behind me, head slightly tilted, staring at me. Not at the road, not at his phone, at me, through the mirror. I swallowed hard and looked back at the GPS. The destination had already been set, about 25 minutes away, deep into another part of the city I didn't recognize. All right, I muttered. Here we go. We drove in silence for a few minutes. No music, no talking, just the hum of the engine. Then I noticed something. In the rearview mirror, I couldn't see his eyes. Not because of the lighting, but because they looked completely dark. Like there was nothing there. I blinked, thinking maybe it was just the shadows. But when I looked again, he was smiling. A wide, slow smile that hadn't been there before. Long night? I asked, trying to break the tension. He didn't respond, didn't even blink, just kept staring. Then finally, he spoke, soft, almost like a whisper. You weren't supposed to stop. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. What? No answer. I felt my stomach twist. I checked the GPS again, and that's when I realized something was very, very wrong. The route had changed. The destination wasn't in the city anymore. It was taking me out, far out, toward an area that wasn't even marked properly on the map. I felt a chill run down my spine. "I think the app glitched," I said quickly. "Let me just—" "Don't," he said. His voice was louder this time, sharp, right behind my ear. I froze. "I didn't tell you to change it." My heart started racing. I hadn't heard him move, but he wasn't sitting back anymore. He was leaning forward, closer, too close. I could feel his breath on my neck, cold. "So just drive," he whispered. I didn't argue. I just drove. And about 10 minutes later, my phone lost signal completely. No GPS, no service, nothing. Just a blank screen, and a road that seemed to stretch into absolute darkness. That's when I realized I had no idea where he was taking me. The silence inside the car started to feel wrong. Not just quiet, heavy. Like the air itself was thicker, harder to breathe. I kept my eyes locked on the road. Didn't look in the mirror. Didn't speak. Didn't even swallow. Because somehow, I knew if I looked back again, I'd see something I wouldn't be able to forget. The road stretched endlessly ahead. No streetlights, no signs, no other cars. Just darkness swallowing everything beyond my headlights. I checked the dashboard clock. 11:58 p.m. A few minutes later, I checked again. Still 11:58. "Okay, no." My voice came out shaky. "That's not funny." From behind me, a soft whisper. "Time doesn't move here." My chest tightened instantly. I froze. You said 25 minutes?" I stammered. "We should be halfway there by now." No answer. I risked it. Just a quick glance in the rearview mirror. He was sitting back again, perfectly still, hands on his lap, head slightly tilted, staring straight at me. But this time, his smile was gone. His face looked empty, like a mask. "You took a wrong turn," he said quietly. "I followed the GPS." I snapped, a bit too fast. "This isn't on me." Another pause. Then, "There is no GPS here." The words hit harder than they should have. I grabbed my phone again. Still no signal. No map. Just a frozen screen showing a road that didn't match what I was driving on anymore. The line on the map was straight. But the road ahead, it started to bend, slowly, unnaturally, like it was curving in ways roads shouldn't. I felt my hands starting to shake. Okay, I'm turning around." "You can't." His voice was closer again, way closer. I didn't hear him move, but I could feel him, right behind my seat, breathing, cold air hitting the back of my neck. I slammed my foot on the brake and jerked the wheel. The car spun halfway around, but instead of facing the way I came, I was still facing forward. Same road, same darkness, like I never turned at all. No. My breathing got faster. "That's impossible." From behind me, a low chuckle. "You think this is a road?" My heart dropped. I looked up. Really looked this time. The pavement wasn't normal. It was cracked in strange patterns, almost like veins, stretching across the asphalt, pulsing slightly. I blinked hard. Get a grip. But then I noticed something worse. On both sides of the road, those shapes I thought were buildings, they moved. Just a little, like they were turning toward me, watching. I pressed the gas harder. "I'm done. I'm getting out of here." The engine roared louder than before, but the speedometer was dropping. 80, 60, 40, even though my foot was fully down. "What the hell?" doesn't want you to leave," he whispered. I slammed my hand on the steering wheel. "Who?" Silence, then slowly, very slowly, I looked in the mirror again. He was smiling, wider than before, too wide. His mouth stretched almost unnaturally across his face, and his eyes, completely black now. No pupils, no whites, just empty voids. "You stopped," he repeated. "You weren't supposed to." "I didn't know!" I shouted. "It was just a ride." His smile faded instantly, and for the first time, his expression changed. Not to anger, not to sadness. Something worse. Disappointment. "You always say that." A chill ran through my entire body. "What do you mean, always?" He didn't answer. Instead, he leaned closer. Closer than before. So close. I could see faint cracks in his skin, like porcelain, about to break. Then he whispered, "They all say that." My stomach dropped. I didn't think. I slammed the brakes again, this time harder. The car screeched to a full stop. "I'm ending this," I said, grabbing the door handle. "I don't care what this is." "You should." His voice snapped, louder, sharper, right next to my ear. I froze. "You opened the door," he continued slowly. "You let me in." My hand started shaking, still on the handle. "I didn't know." "It doesn't matter." Silence filled the car again. Then, click, the doors locked, by themselves. My heart skipped a beat. I tried to unlock them. Nothing. Pressed again. Nothing. "Let me out!" I shouted. No response. Then suddenly, the headlights flickered again, and this time, they didn't come back fully. They dimmed, just enough to barely see the road, and in that weak light, I saw it. Up ahead, something standing in the middle of the road. Tall, thin, not human, not even close. I slowed down without thinking. "What is that?" From behind me, a whisper, almost excited. "Your stop." My entire body went cold. "I'm not stopping." "You already did." And that's when I realized my foot wasn't on the brake, but the car was slowing down anyway. The car kept slowing down, even though my foot was on the gas. "Come on, come on," I shouted, pressing harder. Nothing. The engine roared, but the speed dropped. 30, 20, 10, and that thing, standing in the middle of the road, was getting closer. Tall. Too tall. Its limbs looked wrong, stretched, uneven, like they weren't meant to hold a body. And its head, tilted, exactly like him. My breath got stuck in my throat. "No. No, I'm not stopping." From behind me, a whisper. "You already did." The car came to a complete stop. The engine died. Silence. Pure, crushing silence. Even the air felt dead. Then, click, the doors unlocked. Slowly, I turned my head toward the road. That thing was now right in front of the car. So close, I couldn't even see its full body anymore. Just parts of it. Long arms, too many joints, and a face that didn't fully exist. Like it kept shifting, trying to become something human, and failing. I couldn't breathe. "Don't open the door," I whispered to myself. "Don't open it." From behind me, "You have to finish the ride." My hand started moving, on its own, reaching for the door handle. No, stop." But my fingers wrapped around it anyway. Slowly, the handle pulled. Click. The door creaked open. Cold air rushed in. Colder than anything I've ever felt. I squeezed my eyes shut. "This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real." "Look at me." I froze. That voice wasn't from behind me anymore. It was outside, right in front of the open door. I didn't want to. Every part of me screamed not to, but something forced me. Slowly, I opened my eyes and looked up. It was leaning down toward me now, its face inches from mine, trying to smile, trying to copy a human expression. but its mouth stretched too far. Its eyes were just empty holes. Deep, endless, and inside them, I swear I saw movement, like something was looking back at me from even deeper inside. Then it spoke, but not with one voice, with many, layered, whispering over each other. You stopped. My body went numb. I didn't know, I whispered. You always say that. Same words. Again. My heart dropped. What happens if I didn't stop? I asked. Silence. Then it smiled wider. You wouldn't be here. Before I could react, everything went black. I woke up to the sound of honking. Loud. Aggressive. I gasped and sat up. I was in my car, parked, middle of a street. Bright lights everywhere. People shouting. Move your car! Are you asleep or what? I looked around disoriented. Chicago. Normal streets. Normal Anais. My hands were still on the steering wheel. Engine running. Like nothing happened. What? I grabbed my phone. Full signal. Battery. Normal. Everything fine. I checked the app. The ride was gone. No history. No passenger. Nothing. I laughed nervously. Okay. It was a dream. It had to be. Right? I pulled over to the side, breathing heavily, trying to calm down. That wasn't real. Then my phone chimed. A notification. From the app. I froze. Slowly. I opened it. New message. From unknown passenger. My blood ran cold. I didn't remember accepting a new ride. I didn't remember anything. With shaking hands, I opened the message. One line. That's it. You didn't finish the ride. My heart started pounding again. No, I'm done. I exited the app immediately. Deleted it. Right there. On the spot. Went home. Didn't sleep. Didn't speak. Just sat there, staring at my phone. Hours passed. Nothing happened. No more messages. No more glitches. Eventually, I convinced myself it was over. Just stress. Just my mind messing with me. Until 3 nights later, I was lying in bed, scrolling my phone, trying to distract myself, when suddenly my screen froze, then flickered, just like that night. My stomach dropped. No. The screen went black. Then slowly, the map appeared. Not any app I recognized. Just a map. One single road leading out of the city, into darkness. And at the bottom of the screen, a message. Driver assigned. My breath stopped. Then, another line appeared, slowly, like it was being typed. Pickup confirmed. I threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall and fell. Screen still glowing, still showing that road. And then, one final message appeared. We're already close.